To Dipti with the papers. Of course, they're starting with lots of reaction, Dipti, to that verdict for the disgraced rapper Diddy's 7-week trial.
Yeah, that's right. It's finally come to an end. A judge acquitted the rap mogul Sean Combs, aka Diddy, of the most serious sex trafficking and racketeering charges. He was found guilty, though, of prostitution-related charges, as you see here on the front of the Daily Mirror here, Diddy guilty. He's also on the front of the Daily Star, which headlines with freak show, because the verdict was largely seen as a mixed result, one in which, though, Combs comes out on top, because even though he's been kept in custody while awaiting sentencing, he faces now years in prison, but not life. Although lawyers there, as you see there, are calling for 20 years jail time on those prostitution charges. There's an interesting article also in the Wall Street Journal today, which looks at how his case was helped in a large part to his lawyer. Mark Agnifilo steered a team of 9 lawyers, and they took on a very risky strategy in which they acknowledged Sean Combs' history of abuse, but argued that it didn't constitute a criminal enterprise. This, combined with Agnifilo's affable affect, helped him build a rapport with the jury of 4 women and 8 men while they grappled with some of his clients' most stomach-turning acts.
What about the opinion pages? What are they saying?
Well, you have this from the New York Times, which says it all, really. Sean Combs' 9 lives. For decades, he occupied a special stripe of the celebrity stratosphere. Now, the man who helped turn rap into a global phenomenon has escaped a sex trafficking conviction. That's really how a lot of the papers see it, that he escaped it. And particularly, he escaped the fate of other disgraced celebrities like Harvey Weinstein and R. Kelly, both who are serving time now for their actions. The website Vox, meanwhile, looks at what all this means for him and for us, particularly in this post-Me Too movement. And it explains that Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-partner who led the charges against him, actually filed a civil suit against him under the New York Adult Survivors Act. And this was a law that was specifically passed in the wake of the Me Too movement, allowing sexual violence survivors to file lawsuits against their attackers for 1 year between November 2022 and 2023, even if the statute of limitations had lapsed. So this period, though, also sort of coincided with a backlash against the movement and the feeling by many that the Me Too movement had gone too far. So for Vox today, the verdict in this Diddy trial really reflects the, quote, fraught place of the Me Too movement in America's public consciences.
To France for this next one. A man has been arrested on terrorism charges. It relates to the incel movement. It's a first such case in France.
Yeah, this man is only 18 years old. He's known as Timothy G, as Le Monde reports. He was arrested last Friday by national security forces near a public high school where he was attending pre-graduate classes. Now, this 18-year-old had been under surveillance for some months and is suspected of having plotted to kill women. He also proclaimed to be part of the incel movement. He'd posted videos about incels or incel videos on TikTok. Incel, of course, the involuntary celibate movement of men who harbor anger and resentment towards women who they think are denying them a sexual relationship. It's a case that certainly resonates with the fictional TV series Adolescent Stewart, which of course made waves this year for its exploration of the incel movement and toxic masculinity among young adolescent boys.
Now, a conference of monks held yesterday, this in India, to celebrate the Dalai Lama's birthday.
Yeah, the Dalai Lama will be turning 90 this Sunday. And he used this conference that was held yesterday in Dharamsala in India to talk about or to give his opinion once and for all on his successor. Now, the current Dalai Lama fled China in 1959 after the Chinese army invaded Tibet. He's lived in India ever since, and he's really advocated the plight of Tibetans. But the issue of picking a successor has always been a thorny one. At one time, he even considered ending the institution of the Dalai Lama to prevent the Chinese from making it a target. But on Wednesday, he did say that he will be reverting to tradition, saying the institution will continue as usual, through the process of a reincarnation successor. Now, as I said, choosing a successor is inherently political, and this is an editorial that came out yesterday from the website Tsinghua, reminding readers that the reincarnation of living Buddhas is not just an internal religious matter, but one of national sovereignty as well.
And finally from Dipty, Tour de France begins this Saturday.
Yeah, the cyclists will be taking off from Lille this Saturday, Stuart. They'll be riding some 3,320 kilometers over the next weeks, exclusively in France. For the first time in 5 years, Tour de France is only taking place in France. And this year, one of the new things will be that riders will have to climb the Butte Montmartre hill 3 times before heading down to the Champs-Élysées on the final stage. It's an unprecedented climb in the history of the Tour because the 21st stage is usually reserved for sprinters. I don't know about you, I'd rather pull my eyeballs out than ride a city bike through the winding, steep hills of Montmartre. So good luck to them. They're going to do it.
A city bike, not a racing bike.
Well, either bike.
I
wouldn't ride
kind of
a
bike.
racing bike either.
I quite like a bit of cycling myself, but yeah, I won't be taking part in the Tour de France, I hasten to say. Dipty, thanks a lot. Dipty with the papers on France 24.